Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets because as you can see here over the last 24 hours or so, something significant has happened on the Bitcoin chart. We were talking about in yesterday's video about how important it was and why I thought it was likely that Bitcoin was going to be getting above the key level of resistance of $6,600, and now that is exactly what we have done. As you can see at the time of recording this video, Bitcoin is trading at around $6,650, and that is a very significant thing indeed, because breaking $6,600 was the first stepping stone that Bitcoin needed to actually, well, walk down to actually begin a new rally, which could potentially be leading into a new bull run. I'm not going to say right away that we're going into a new bull run or anything, but I definitely believe that now that we've broken $6,600, we are going to be moving up from here, and that potential is definitely off in the distance. I'm going to be explaining exactly where I believe Bitcoin is going to be moving over the next week or so in today's video, and then we're also going to be doing some technical analysis on the Ethereum charts and also on the XRP charts, because I haven't talked about the number 2 and the number 3 cryptocurrency in a little while, and there were some things I wanted to point out for you guys later on in the video. But without much further ado, let's go ahead and get right into that video. Bitcoin, like I said, is currently trading just a little under $6,650, and we'll come right back to the chart, but first we have to do our crypto market recap here on CoinMarketCap. If we give CoinMarketCap a little refresh, we're going to see that Bitcoin across all exchanges is also trading just under $6,600 with a daily volume that's a little low of around $4 billion. We've seen volume dropping off over the last couple of months because Bitcoin has been consolidating and squeezing in and constricting in this kind of in this consolidation pattern that we talked about in yesterday's video. If you guys are interested in my longer term take on where Bitcoin is going and why I believe the new Bitcoin bull run is on the horizon, not necessarily guaranteed or anything, but definitely a definite possibility, you guys can watch that video up in the top right. But what we've seen here over the last couple of months is that Bitcoin's been constricting in here, and as such, the volatility and also the volume has been dropping off. One of the reasons that volume isn't as high now as it usually is, and why it's not as high as it may have been 6 months ago, for example. Bitcoin's up about 1% over the last 24 hours, which isn't all that significant, but getting above $6,600 is rather significant, even if we haven't moved a whole lot because of it. Ethereum's currently trading at around $233.33. That's a nice little number there, with about $1.75 billion of daily volume. It's up by about 0.8%, and XRP is actually doing pretty well today. It's currently trading around 60 cents, and it's up about 4% here over the last 24 hours. Nothing really to write home about in the altcoin market, but like I said, there are some interesting things on Ethereum and XRP I want to show you guys a little bit later on in the video. If we sort by change over the last 24 hours here, what we're going to see is that the altcoin market is doing all right. We definitely see a lot of green here. We saw 2 double-digit gainers, and we see 1 double-digit loser down here in Eternal Token. We see Electroneum and Eternal Token always seeming to be at either one of the biggest gainers or one of the biggest losers. So whenever you see an altcoin, Pivx is another example, Aurora I've seen up here a lot lately. Whenever you see one of these altcoins that is consistently one of the highest gainers and also one of the highest losers, that typically signals that that is a very volatile token or a very volatile cryptocurrency, an altcoin, and that it moves in both directions quite rapidly and quite quickly, and actually moves very far when it does move. When you find a very volatile coin like that, a lot of times that's a good coin to try and trade, because if it will do that in a predictable manner, you can normally find a lot of volatility in that cryptocurrency that you might be able to trade for some good profit. But like I said, we do see 2 double-digit gainers up here in Redcoin and Nebulas, both up over 20%. Anyway, with that said, that's basically all we wanted to cover on CoinMarketCap, so let's go ahead and get back onto the actual technical analysis portion of today's video. Like I said in the introduction, we were talking about yesterday how we wanted Bitcoin to get back up above $6,600, and Bitcoin had been trying to get back up above this level for a little while, and we did actually break up above it, and then we fell back below it. But actually, interestingly enough, we got support on this uptrend that we drew a couple of videos ago. Instead of falling all the way back down to somewhere around, say, $6,400, we managed to get support on an uptrend, which is a very good thing indeed, and that does help to reconfirm and solidify the significance of this uptrend, and that does lead me to believe that if we do pull back from here, that instead of coming down below $6,600, we will instead be getting support on this uptrend, which is a very bullish thing, because when you're getting support on an uptrend rather than support on a flat level of support, then a lot of times that can signal bullish price action, because if you're able to get support on an uptrend, well, obviously that means you're making higher lows, right? And that's exactly what we're looking at here. Hopefully we can hold this uptrend until we actually get above this downtrend right here, and I think that's exactly where we're going over the next couple of days. This downtrend right here, I've talked about in several videos, and it is a very significant downtrend indeed. MACD. Because if we come out to the daily chart, that is the long-term downtrend that Bitcoin has been under for the majority of 2018. Now, of course, if you guys remember back, that downtrend used to be drawn something like that, but recently a lot of technical analysts, including myself, have decided to draw it like that because it's a little bit more significant and is still significant to the price action and to the market today. And that's exactly the downtrend that we're looking for Bitcoin to get above. We want Bitcoin to get above that downtrend because that would bring a lot of bullish price action, and that is one of the major levels of resistance that Bitcoin is currently under, that Bitcoin needs to get above to kick off a new rally and also kick off a new bull run from that rally. It is very important that we get above that downtrend of resistance, not only for the reasons I just outlined, but also to break market structure. This is one thing I talk about a lot about in the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, linked in the description, is the importance of market structure. We have a whole entire video dedicated to market structure because it's very important. And this is one of those examples of why market structure is very important. What we see here is that Bitcoin has, well, it has some market structure. Bitcoin likes to come up to this downtrend of resistance and, well, get resistance. If you break market structure, typically what that means is that depending on how strong the market structure is, when you break it, typically that signals that there's a major bout of price action coming. And if you're breaking a downtrend of resistance and that is the market structure that you're breaking, well, obviously you're going to expect that change in market structure, that breaking of market structure, to bring in bullish price action. It's very important that we get above this downtrend. And at the current moment, I do think we're going to. Right now, we're looking at bullish MACD. We see the MACD line above the signal line. We see the RSI sitting up here at a rather healthy level of around 52. We see Bitcoin had come down and gotten support on the 20 exponential moving average right down here. We're above that. That's a very important momentum indicator. That's a very important directional indicator when we're talking about whether Bitcoin's in an uptrend or a downtrend. And currently, we're above it. We've gotten above a very important level of resistance of $6,600. We see a bullish cross on the MACD on the weekly chart. We see a lot of very, very bullish things coming in, and I think that's going to translate into some bullish price action coming here over the next couple of days. And I do believe Bitcoin is going to be breaking this downtrend, and then also at the same time, or very soon thereafter, breaking above $6,800, another important level of resistance. I think that's what's going to happen. I would give that a 55 to 60, maybe 65% likelihood of happening, and the rest of that likelihood, I'll go ahead and tell you what I think the other alternative to that is, what the scenario that could play out if Bitcoin doesn't get above this downtrend and actually manages to break support. Exactly what I think is going to happen here is that if that happens and Bitcoin does break this uptrend right here, is that Bitcoin's just simply going to come down to this uptrend right here as kind of a fail-safe, as a stop, as a fallback for if Bitcoin does break this uptrend. Because this is a rather steep uptrend. This is a much more conservative uptrend, a much more easy one to hold. And I think that if we do break this one, we'll come down here and get support and bounce from there. Just about no matter what happens, I think Bitcoin is going to, at worst, be trading sideways for the next week, or at best, be trading above this downtrend within 1 week from now. That's exactly what I think is going to happen, guys. And from there, I think my target is somewhere around where I've talked about in previous videos, of the 61.8% Fibonacci retracement level, right here up around $6,950 or so. And from there, I believe we will be breaking that and at least be coming up to $7,400. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think of that. Do you think Bitcoin is going to break that long-term downtrend, this one right here? And do you think Bitcoin will be coming back all the way up to $7,400? Because if Bitcoin does come back up to $7,400, that is extremely significant for the Bitcoin market, because what Bitcoin has done for the entirety of 2018 has been making lower highs. And that's a very important piece of market structure as well, guys. We've talked about market structure as it relates to this downtrend, but in a very similar manner, it's also important to realize that Bitcoin has been making lower highs. Every single time it has a rally, it makes a lower high from the last. So if we manage to break that market structure by coming up again to $7,400, or indeed by going above $7,400, that would be extremely significant and could be signaling the beginnings of a new bull run. And that's why I'm so happy about this, and that's why I'm so optimistic right now, because what the market looks like it's doing is it has set such a low target for us to get above to actually set a new high in motion. This right here, Bitcoin only needs to go above $7,400 to set a new high. We're already setting higher lows, and that would be the beginnings of a bull market, in my opinion, because to do that also, we would have to be getting through the 200 daily simple moving average right here. As you can see, if it comes up, it'll be trading right around here. The 200 daily simple moving average is a very important simple moving average, and if we get to $7,400, we're also going to be getting above that. A lot of good things could be happening here in the next couple of days. Whether or not they're going to be happening, of course, I can't tell you that for 100% certainty, but I do think at the very least, Bitcoin's going to be getting above this downtrend, and we'll do some more TA on the long-term side when that actually happens, assuming that actually happens. With that out of the way, guys, I do believe we've covered everything on Bitcoin that I wanted to talk about in today's video. If you have any questions about what I've covered here, or if you have any comments about what I've covered here, of course, that's what the comment section is for. Let's get a conversation going on down there. We've had some very good conversation and some very good constructive discussion here over the last couple of days with people talking about where they believe the market's going to go. Make sure you guys keep it civil because some people have been being a little rather rude, and I don't want to have to kick anybody out of the comment section, but we have had some good conversation. Anyway, continuing on, let's talk about Ethereum, because Ethereum is a very important player in the cryptocurrency space as well, because Bitcoin obviously controls a lot of market dominance and it controls $115 billion of market cap, but Ethereum and XRP also cover a lot of market dominance as well. Ethereum and XRP are worth almost exactly the same. If XRP moves up a little bit, by the time this video goes live, XRP may have jumped into the number 2 position again. XRP likes to keep usurping Ethereum as the number 2 slot lately. It hasn't managed to hold on to it, but these are very important cryptocurrencies because they're very big players. The top 3, it's not only Bitcoin that we need to look at, we also need to look at Ethereum and XRP, because if Bitcoin's looking bullish, but the other 2 are looking bearish, that's significant because both of these account for about half of what Bitcoin does as far as actual market capitalization and market dominance do. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and do some technical analysis on Ethereum and XRP. There is something I want to point out on Ethereum. Now, obviously, I just explained why I'm quite bullish on the Bitcoin market, at least for the next week or so, but I'm not as bullish on Ethereum. I do have reasons to be bullish on Ethereum, but there is one thing I want to point out, and that is this kind of head and shoulders pattern right here, where we have our shoulder right here, a head right here, and a shoulder right here. What it looks like is going to happen here, and this isn't based off of a lot of different technical indicators. This is mostly based off of experience and off of my gut feeling. I do believe that what Ethereum is probably going to do here over the next couple of days, I should say, is it's probably going to come back down to this uptrend of support right here. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, but what this looks like is this looks like a head and shoulders pattern with a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. And what that would signify is that Bitcoin would be Ethereum would likely be breaking this neckline right here and would be continuing downward from there. I'm not totally convinced that that's going to happen, partially because we're already at the bottom of a downtrend, and typically you don't see a head and shoulders pattern form at the bottom of a downtrend. Normally you may see an inverse head and shoulders pattern where the market may do something like that's an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We've actually seen a normal head and shoulders pattern at the bottom of a market. That doesn't happen all that often, but what it would signify is that we'd probably be breaking this neckline. Like I said, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, because what you can also do is you can take a trend line and you can draw right here, and actually if you take this and draw it like that, actually we're in a consolidation pattern as well. And what this looks like to me is that we're going to end up getting resistance here on this downtrend, coming down and testing this uptrend, and then that's really going to be where the really important price action for Ethereum comes in. If Ethereum actually does reject off of this downtrend, comes down here, this is going to be a very important moment. When Ethereum comes down here, if it manages to bounce and go up, it's probably going to be breaking this downtrend. But if Ethereum does not manage to hold this neckline, it's probably going to be going down. And if it does break this neckline, I imagine it's going to go down quite a bit further, probably down to around $200 as a target, simply because that's a major level of support that Ethereum has seen a lot of price action around previously, and also because it's a big even. Tell me in the comment section down below, what do you think Ethereum is going to do here? Do you think Ethereum is going to break bullish out of this consolidation pattern that I've just drawn here? Or do you think that it's actually going to fulfill the finishing parts of this head and shoulders pattern, and that it's actually going to be going lower from here? One thing I also want to point out is that on the daily chart, Ethereum is above the 20 exponential moving average for the first time, or actually the second time in a very long time. We are above it, and if Ethereum does come down here to test this uptrend of support again, that would be a break of that, which would be most unfortunate. If we do go ahead and break this downtrend in the next couple of hours, then that would obviously also be very good, and that would mean that Ethereum would probably be starting some kind of new rally, considering it is above the 20 exponential moving average, which, as you can see, Ethereum has been below for a very long time. But when Ethereum is actually above the 20 exponential moving average, that's a very, very bullish thing indeed, and that typically does signal that you're seeing some kind of rally in Ethereum, and you typically see that on most markets, actually, especially cryptocurrency markets. With that said, that's basically all I wanted to cover on Ethereum. Actually, I wanted to go ahead and point out also that we are looking bullish on the MACD. That's a very good omen for the future of Ethereum here over the next couple of weeks, and I do think that in general, Ethereum is going to be moving up, although Ethereum has been underperforming as it compares to many other altcoins lately. I can show you that on the actual dominance charts. Ethereum has been underperforming, especially compared to XRP lately, especially over the last 3 months or so. Ethereum has really not been doing very well. It's been losing a lot of dominance to a lot of these other cryptocurrencies, and also to Bitcoin. As you can see, this one right here, that line right here is actually representative of Ethereum, and this one up here is, of course, Bitcoin. Ethereum's been losing a lot of its valuation to altcoins and also to Bitcoin, and here over the last month or so, Ethereum has actually lost some of its valuation. A lot of this has come out of Bitcoin, actually, to XRP. As you can see, XRP is this line right up here that's come up here and and been testing Ethereum recently, and that's kind of what I'm worried about, is that Ethereum's going to continue to underperform as some of the altcoins and also Bitcoin start to regain some of that dominance. But nevertheless, I am bullish on Ethereum, as I am bullish on most things right now, at least for the next couple of weeks. With that said, let's go ahead and cover XRP, and then we're going to wrap the video up, because I'm bullish on XRP in the short term, and I'll explain why, but I am kind of worried about it in the slightly longer term. Let me explain what I mean by that. On the hourly chart, XRP, I keep calling XRP Ethereum in the last couple of videos, guys. One thing that I'm very happy about with XRP is that XRP continues to go into these consolidation patterns, and it likes to break bullish out of them. A good example is one that I was drawing and following here a couple of days ago, and XRP actually did manage to break bullish out of it, which I was very happy to see indeed. We saw a very big green candlestick, and XRP has been moving up ever since. And over the last couple of hours since I'm recording this, it's been continuing to move up, and it looks like we're going to be seeing a bullish MACD cross here on the hourly chart in the next couple of hours. Go ahead and check your chart on XRP over US dollars, and you will probably see that there's a bullish cross here, because this video is recorded some hours before it goes live, but I do think that's what we're going to see. With that said, the short term is looking very good. Also, if the short term doesn't look that good, XRP is a very strong level of support down here around 45 cents and around, I believe, about 7,000 Satoshis respectively on the XRP BTC chart. Right here, right around 7,000 Satoshis. So XRP is looking quite nice on the short term. One thing I'm concerned about on the long term, and I say long term, we're only looking at the daily chart here, but one thing I'm concerned about in the long term is how overextended it is on its RSI. As you can see, XRP, I almost said Ethereum again, XRP ran all the way up to around 83 here, and is continuing to climb. It's sitting up here around 73 right now. Now, that's not necessarily something to be all that concerned about, because markets can actually just straight up ignore RSI. Let me give you an example of that. That's another thing we talk about in the course also, is that XRP and any other market can just straight up ignore RSI sometimes. As you can see right over here, Bitcoin just completely ignored the RSI, telling it to come back down in the last 3 months in the parabolic run at the end of the bull market in 2017. But typically, if the RSI stays up in overbought territory for long enough, even if it takes a while, it is going to end up getting its way. And that's one thing that concerns me right now, is that XRP has had such a massive run. It's more than doubled in valuation in the last 2.5 weeks, that I am expecting that there's probably going to be some kind of retracement. What I'd like to see is XRP come down here to this 20 daily exponential moving average, or perhaps the 45 cent level, or also respectively the 7,000 Satoshi level on the XRP BTC chart. I'm not showing you the XRP BTC chart because both of them look extraordinarily similar right now. So I'm just showing the US dollar chart. But tell me in the comment section down below also what you think about that. Do you think XRP is overdue for a retracement? I think it's overdue for something. When XRP was able to run about 150%, up close to 200%, depending on what exchange you look at, where it ran from down here around 45 cents. That's not my measuring tool. Down here around 45 cents all the way up to 52 cents, and it's currently, not 52 cents, way up here at around 80 cents, where it's currently trading at around 60 cents. We didn't see a major correction. We saw one red candlestick on the daily chart, but overall we've still been trending upwards. XRP is looking very, very bullish for a change here in 2018. I know I've just thrown some shade at the XRP community, but XRP hasn't really been doing all that well here in 2018, and it's definitely had a recovery, which I'm sure the XRP fans are having one hell of a time with. Anyway, guys, I'm definitely having one hell of a time watching XRP, and I'm also really enjoying watching the markets lately. Tell me in the comment section down below also if you guys are enjoying the markets. I know I'm telling you guys to tell me all kinds of stuff in the comment section down below, so I'll go ahead and tell you again. If you want to talk to me in person, though, you can come and join the Discord server. There's a link to do so in the description down below. And also, if you guys haven't already joined the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, there's a link in the top of the description. Every single person that's in the course so far has been greatly enjoying it. I haven't really seen any complaints. I don't think I've seen one negative remark so far. If you guys are in CT2A and you were enjoying it, tell people in the comment section down below. I am very happy with it, and I'm not going to go ahead and officially put a date on this, but I am working on some more videos for the course. Like I promised, I am going to be uploading several more videos to the course over the course of the next couple of months as actual free content for the people that have already bought the course. I guess it's not free content, but extra content for people that have already bought the course. But remember, guys, I am probably going to have to raise the price in a month or so. So if you guys are interested in getting the course while it's $100, or $99, I should say, there's a link to do so in the description down below. Go click that. You guys can look around and see what I have to offer. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.